I'm going to change my life in 6 months. That sounds a little bit dramatic because I'm in my 40s, I have responsibilities. I can't just pick up and leave and have a new life. Like, sure, do I want to pack up my whole entire family and the dog, hit the road and become a digital nomad? Maybe. That's not something that's going to happen. There's some aspects of my life that I do want to change. As of right now, I'm going to focus on 6 areas: health and fitness, income, friendships, my style, personal development, and what was the last one? Friendships. Friendships. We're going to take a look at where I'm starting at, and as we go, I'm going to let you know what's working, what's not, and how I'm pivoting, because I do feel like I'll probably pivot in some of these areas because I don't know if I'll be able to stick to them. That kind of sounds like I'm setting myself up for failure, but I'll give you a little more explanation as we go through each area. Because I do think it's okay to pivot. Like, get into action, try something, pivot if you need to. All right, some background. Do you need some background? I'll give background during each of the different areas as we're talking about them, but here's some brief background. I'm Joanne. I'm 42. I'm married to Brad. I have a son who's 12 and a daughter who is 11. And we have a bulldog named Walter. He's 5. He's right here. Hi. Mwah. Here's the rough plan for each of the areas. Health and fitness. My goal is to lose 20 to 30 pounds. Now, weight loss is not the big goal. I need to lower my blood pressure, which has been high, and lower my cholesterol, which has recently become bad. I don't know how long it's been bad. I just had it checked recently and it was bad. Let me give you some background. I've been struggling with my blood pressure for a while now. It started back when I was starting my last surrogate journey, and I'll do a separate video on that, the journey of discovering and taking care of my blood pressure. But at first I thought it was just because I was anxious, and it might have been, but it was bad. Then it got better, and then it got bad again. So then I just decided that I had to address it because blood pressure is referred to as a silent killer, and I don't want to die. Bad cholesterol is new. I didn't know they were going to test for cholesterol, so I didn't fast. I don't know if that makes a huge difference, but I don't even remember what I ate. So again, I don't know if I could have eaten something or some things during the day, and then that caused the test to be the way it was. My doctor just sent me a note that said, please eat a low-fat, low-cholesterol diet. That's it. So I'll get my blood pressure and my cholesterol checked again with my primary care doctor in a few months. I need to make an appointment for that. I'm going to make it right now. Let's see what's available. And I'm all set for an appointment on Valentine's Day because nothing says I love you like not ignoring something I'm aware of and have the ability to improve. For fitness, my plan is to continue getting steps in, which I do pretty well with. I have a walking pad for under my standing desk, and I typically walk on it with a 12-pound weighted vest, 2.5-pound ankle weights, and occasionally, depending on what type of work I'm doing or what I'm doing while I'm walking, I'll wear 1-pound wrist weights. I feel like that has been going well, except I haven't done as much the last few weeks to a month, and that has probably led to I need to change my life, which have led to this video. I also want to get back into kettlebell workouts and some sort of stretching or band work, because as you get older, it's important to work on your mobility and your balance, because as you get older, you don't want to fall because that's bad. So it's always been something I have said I needed to do, and now I'm going to do it. Okay, on to nutrition. I will track my macros I do need to keep track of sodium because that's one thing I can eliminate to lower blood pressure, because there's things for blood pressure that they say to do. I think no smoking, which I don't do, limit alcohol or no alcohol, which I don't do a lot of, caffeine. I do have caffeine, but I don't, like, she was like, do you drink coffee? I said, I typically don't. And so sodium is the big thing. And I have never, ever, like ever kept track of sodium. Like, who does that? People with bad blood pressure, probably. So I need to do that. The next area is income. My goal is to be generating $10K per month in revenue for my business at the end of this 6-month period. A few years ago, I put my business on hold. I was already kind of in transition of who I was helping in my business. I wanted to focus on my last surrogacy journey. And I've been thinking a lot about what I want to be doing in my business, a lot of planning, just not a lot of doing. And so this definitely can be a part of my, I'm going to change my life in 6 months. That could be huge for me. I think the two areas that I'm talking about now, so health and fitness and income, are enough to change my life specifically. So income. My goal is to relaunch my coaching business, and I'm going to do a separate series on this because that was my initial plan before I started making this video, is to give you behind the scenes of relaunching my business and showing you all the steps I'm taking in case you too want to start a business. The next area is friends. This has been something I have been wanting for a while, like wanting friends. Like, of course I have friends, but I would love to find a friend who is local or more local to where I live, someone who can hang out during the day, like during school hours, someone who I can just meet up for coffee. I don't drink coffee, but you know, tea, walks, or a meal. Someone with similar interests, maybe someone who has their own business. The thing that has held me back from this is that Brad and I spend a lot of time together, like a lot of time, like any extra time, because we're friends. Like, we like to be together. I typically have a lot going on when the kids get home from school, evenings. I don't know where I'm going to start with this. I think because I'm not someone, I'm not going to go to like meetups to go find a friend. Like, I'm not networking. I don't think that's for me. I could see myself joining an activity that I like or would like to do. It can be tough when you're busy with family and you have kids and they're busy to have strong relationships. I don't know. I'm not a good friend. I know that. I'm not a good friend, and not in the sense that like I'm a bad person or something. I mean, I'm not someone who typically like reaches out or organizes things, because again, I don't think I actually said this. I actually like to stay home, be home. I don't like to leave my house. So that's a problem. So yeah, I feel like this is an aspect that could be better. A lot better. Next is style. I don't know if this one is going to stick. This is what I was talking about. I don't know if this one's going to stick. I don't think I have style. Like, obviously I have a certain style. I typically just wear the same thing every day. I like to wear black. I like to wear a black shirt, black leggings, and I change my shoes or my hoodie or my sweater. That's what I'm wearing right now. That's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing. This is it. This is what I'm wearing. I'm boring. And I'm okay with that. I think boring is fine. I think once upon a time I probably did have style. I had more color in my wardrobe. I dressed up occasionally. But then I just started having babies. Like, a lot of babies. I've delivered 8 babies since 2012. I was a surrogate 5 times. And this includes my own 2 children. And I just got comfortable in wearing comfortable clothes. And I don't think that my everyday like style will change, but I would love to have some options for when we go out. We don't go out a lot, but when we go out to a meal or we meet up with people. Here I'm going to start with the clothes I already have because I do have clothes. I just don't wear them. So I think the good starting point is to see what I have and if it still is something that I like and want to wear, and then go from there. This next area was hobbies, but I'm changing it to giving back because I don't need another hobby. Currently, I read and I am learning to play the piano. Plus, Brad and I hike. And I think I could say my book club is a hobby. Let me show you this book club because I think that when you hear book club, you're like, how can that be a hobby? This is the book club I'm in. It's hosted by Sharon McMahon. I wanted to share it with you because registration is open for the next season, which starts in January, in case you're looking for something like this. If I post this video and it's no longer open, I'm sorry. It'll open again at like the end of April, I think. Here is everything included. It's called Governor's Insider. There's a lot. It's like 4 workshops. There's a private Instagram account, regular deep dives, 2 books, book discussions, private author meetups, like for the authors of the book, and then regular Instagram lives and Zooms. I don't do all of this. I mainly will go to like one workshop. I like the private Instagram account where she answers questions and posts stories. Regular deep dives. This is why I'm in book club. These stories on the deep dives are so good. Like, nerd alert. So if you're a nerd like me and love to learn, I'll just give you an example. I'll show you an example. The 2 books for the next season are Ina Garten. Hello. If you love her, like, join the book club because we get to meet her. I think the first roasted chicken I ever made was her engagement chicken. I'm going to have to make it when we meet her. And then the other book is Challenger. It's supposed to be really wild, just wild stuff in it. And I'm always up for a good documentary. I don't typically read the books. In fact, I've only read 1 book because it was the one fiction book that we had in book club. I'm not a nonfiction reader typically. So that's not why I'm in book club. It's really weird, right? You don't have to join every aspect of book club. You don't even have to be here for the book. You could just meet the authors. You don't have to read the books. Like, there's no pressure. Let me show you why I'm in book club. It's the deep dives. There's an example on Sharon's main Instagram account called Sharon Says So. You can find it under her highlights. Just click on deep dive and this will give you an example. She puts a deep dive out once a week and it looks like this. So it'll just continue on. And they're typically stories that you may not have heard about or like learned in history class. Could be stories you're familiar with, but parts you haven't learned before. So that's why I love them. That's why I'm in book club. And some of the other stuff too. but I'm really excited for January because of the books. I'm more apt to read these books than I have in the past. And I just had a thought, like if you're already in Governor's Insiders, let me know so we can be friends. And I could also put this under a place where I can find friends. Anyways, I just wanted to show you what book club was about in case you were interested in joining something like this. So I don't think I need another hobby, but I want to get back into giving back as far as like volunteering and also donating blood. I think is like one of the easiest places I can start. I used to donate blood before I became a surrogate, and I have recently given blood, but it hasn't been on a regular basis. The blood bank has been calling me to donate platelets, so I think that's a good place for me to start. I'm going to make an appointment with the blood bank now so it happens sooner rather than later. And I'm all set. A first step of giving back is complete. I like to find a place where I could volunteer my time once a week. I don't know where to start with this. I know that San Diego does volunteer fairs. So that might be a place I could take a look, and then obviously I'll just have to search online. So I'm going to put a pin in that. The last area is personal development, but maybe we should call this mindset or mental health. I didn't want to put mental health in the health and fitness. I wanted it to be its own area. So here, I need to get back into journaling, daily journaling. I used to, and occasionally still do, the morning pages. So morning pages is where you write out, I think it's supposed to be done in the morning, 3 pages of anything that is in your brain or on your mind, and you just get it out and you write it down. I think you're supposed to do it, or the original morning pages is to handwrite it, which I did do for a while. I think it's supposed to be the actual time it takes, and it takes you longer, or if you know how to type, writing would take you longer to write out 3 full pages versus typing them out. But I have thumb problems, which I'll do a video on, but I had trigger thumb from my last surrogacy. A lot of stuff happened during my last surrogacy. So writing is not the easiest for me, not for that long of a time. So I will be doing it online through a software called 750 Words, because basically 3 pages is 750 words. Let me show you. The website is 750words.com. This will tell you a little bit more what it's about and explain what I was trying to explain about morning pages. When you're ready to write, you just type in "let's write" and it'll go to the day that you're supposed to be writing. As you can see, I haven't written anything since the 3rd of December. But here you will just write anything that is on your mind, that you're just trying to get everything out of your mind out. Sometimes I don't know what to write, and I'll write like, I need to go to Costco. I don't want to, but we need dog food. Other times I'll use it to start a new video script or blog post, or list out my to-dos. Use it for anything. Once you're finished, it'll give you it'll celebrate you and say you reached 750 words. And then you will go to a stats page that looks like this. On December 3rd, I wrote for 22 minutes to reach my 750 words. These are my current badges. It tells you what you were feeling or thinking about. So that day, mostly joy for me. I was thinking mostly about work. And that's basically it. At the beginning of every month, you can join the monthly challenges, and that's to write every single day. Check it out if this is something you're interested in doing for yourself. I believe there's a 30-day free trial, and the cost is pretty low. I think it's $5 a month, maybe lower if you do an annual subscription, which is what I have. And I don't use it. I also want to make it a point of listening to some type of personal development daily. I think 10 to 15 minutes every day, whether it's an audiobook, podcast, a YouTube video, or just reading personal development. I do this. I just don't do it consistently. So I'll share some of the things that I do for that. And then lastly, therapy. So I should have gone to therapy a while ago, especially after my last baby delivery. I had some anxiety pop up during my last pregnancy and postpartum. I've looked into therapy, finding a therapist, and it's not as easy as you would think it should be. And I think it's just they're busy. People are busy. I haven't been persistent about it. I have no excuse, actually, on going to therapy because our insurance covers it. It's just taking the time to find a therapist. And that's it. Those are the areas that I want to improve. I mean, is it enough to say I changed my life? I think I could do the first 2 areas and say I changed my life. I don't, if someone was asking me this, what I would tell them, like, this is specific to you. So this is specific to me and where I'm at in life. And I guess I'll just let you know in my monthly updates if I feel like this is changing my life. We'll see. Do you too want to change your life? I feel like that's an infomercial. I feel like I sound like an infomercial. You too can change your life if you decide to do it today. I feel like that's a blooper or something.